It's a tough night for Jaren Jackson Jr., dude. You know, a couple of things happened tonight. Dude lost a couple of things. We can make an announcement.
Jaren Jackson Jr., kindly hand over your Defensive Player of the Year award from last year over to Bam Adebayo. And then kindly hand over your nickname to Jaime Jaquez Jr.
Tough night, dude. You get your award taken and your nickname taken all in one night as the Miami Heat victorious over the Memphis Grizzlies 108-102. Got a little dicier than it needed to there at the end, but who was there to hit the dagger? None other than Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr. closing with the Miami Heat to take this one to the finish line. And that Heat rookie has looked poised. He's looked making the right plays, never seems to be in the wrong spot, playing gritty defense. Fantastic job tonight by Jaime, and hit the big shot there late to ice this puppy and get the Miami Heat even to 500 at 4-4. But the big story on this one was the captain, Bam Adebayo, with a monster fourth quarter and really taking the Miami Heat home. An aggressive Bam Adebayo tonight, 30 points, 11 rebounds. But this was the big number that sticks out for Bam. 14 of 16 from the free throw line tonight as he really carried the Miami Heat home on a night they needed it. Unfortunately, losing Tyler Herro in the first quarter. Tyler, he got off to a great start in the fourth quarter. Things were really moving for him. Tyler goes into the lane, floater, and lands right on Jaren Jackson Jr.'s sneaker. Best defense that he played all night. Tyler Herro was like writhing in pain immediately. You can see him go down, and I don't know if he was like trying to grin through it, but then all of a sudden you see him hop on one leg back into the locker room, and they ruled him out pretty quickly. So you're hoping for Boy Wonder. This is one of those where he can he'll bounce back soon. But it looked like a pretty gnarly one. It looked like one that was probably going to mean he's going to miss some time in the near future, which is really unfortunate. He's obviously gotten off to such a tremendous start to this season. So the Miami Heat really need to get a lot of contributions all over the place, and that's exactly what they got. But it was really led in that fourth quarter by Bam Adebayo, who finished with 16 points there in the final frame, got to the free throw line 12 times. And, I mean, it was just a monster. You know, there were possessions in this final frame where, you know, Memphis got this to a point where it was mostly the Heat. They had the game in hand. Memphis had a really tough night offensively. They're obviously dealing with a lot. They don't have Ja Morant. They are very banged up. But they did have, they did have Desmond Bane. They did have Jaren Jackson Jr. They did have Marcus Smart. So it's not like the war chest was completely empty on them. And they got a really good performance today from Santi Aldama, who hit 8 points in the fourth quarter. He was hitting shots from downtown and eventually gave them the lead right out of the gate there in the fourth. And then right after that, Triple J gets a bucket on Bam, puts Memphis up by 4. And this was like, no. I don't know if that bucket flipped a switch with Bam Adebayo. But from that point on, after the Heat were down 81-77, Bam was like a menace getting to the line. He was aggressive. He was attacking. He was taking it with a purpose. And I thought that, he takes this matchup very personally. This is a man who I think wants his respect as one of the best centers in the league. And I think that it's always with a caveat with him. There's always other people they want to say and pigeonhole as more talented. They go obsessed about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s blocks, all that stuff. And you've seen now over the last couple of days with Anthony Davis, he took it very personally, had some big possessions on him before he went out with the hip injury, and then finished with a big-time performance against the Lakers. This next night, same thing. Next game up, first game of the road trip. Game kind of slipping away, getting a little bit ugly. No Boy Wonder. Jimmy Butler, not a fantastic night offensively. He finished with 15 points, so still not we just don't seem like we have Jimmy Butler, quite to the level we expect. We know he's dealing with that knee tendonitis. And so what are you going to do? You take this upon yourself. You're the captain. You have this new title. You are the culture bearer. You're the guy taking the helm from Udonis Haslem. And he did what he was supposed to do. A game where it was not pretty. And you lose your leading scorer in Tyler Herro. And Jimmy Butler's out of the game. How do you get this one in hand? You put your head down and you make it your game. And he was doing everything. And not only was he getting offensively, but there was one point where he got in front of Desmond Bane, swatted it away, heat ball. They kick it to a Kyle Lowry 3 that gets them up 8. It was fantastic. Next possession down, Bam was going at Bismack Biyombo. Jaren Jackson tries to come over, help on defense. He gets the foul, gets to the line. Then you had just an amazing play by Triple Jota where he rips Jaren Jackson Jr., who's getting in front of by Bam in there. And who comes out of nowhere but Jaime Jaquez with the steal and the breakaway dunk. Monster play by the rookie tonight. He was awesome. Kyle Lowry, what could you say? I mean, against the team that drafted him, Kyle Lowry was an absolute dog tonight. He went out there, his final numbers on the day, near triple-double for Kyle Lowry, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal. Aggressive from 3 tonight. He put up 7 from downtown, hit 4 of them, and, was a team-high plus 20 tonight. Kyle Lowry's been doing it all, and his last 2 games, he's just been an absolute stud. So, you just have to give it up for him, man. He was absolutely fantastic today. And then in the first half of this game, I think probably the star of all of it was Haywood Highsmith. Haywood Highsmith was absolutely productive all over the place for this Miami Heat team today. He was just a menace on defense. 3 blocks, 2 steals, causing deflections. Finished with 14 points. He's so much more confident with that 3-point shot, but he had that quirky little runner that he's got going on. It looks almost PJ Tucker-esque. He really, he reminds me so much of a young PJ Tucker. It's crazy how much Jaime's just got that dog in him. He even got teed up today. He did not like Desmond Bane, so you're starting to see a little bit of the bark from Haywood Highsmith too, as and not in an annoying Marcus Smart type of way. Although I guess I got to stop saying it because he's in Memphis now. It is weird seeing Marcus Smart in Memphis. It's very odd. But yeah, man, it was a very, very big team effort today from this Miami Heat squad. A fourth quarter where things were getting a little wobbly there. It was not the prettiest offensive game in the world, and certainly you had a Memphis team that was just, it was weird because it just felt like the stats weren't making a whole lot of sense. They ended up getting 13 more shots up on Miami. Miami finished with 6 more turnovers, so that probably contributed to it. The rebounding numbers were pretty even. Miami out-rebounded them. But Memphis shot like 38% from the field today. So for this game to be where it was that late was pretty wild. It was pretty wild, but they got to the free throw line, good amount of times too. So it wasn't like there was a blowout in that regard. But Miami was able to come through, especially, the big thing here with them, one of the big takeaways, not only just from a Bam Adebayo perspective where, he has a great performance, not only against Jaren Jackson, but you think about this game for him, you have two frauds out there, 2 frauds with his hardware. They have fraudware. And Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., the last 2 deep boys, he's better than both of them at defense. It's funny how Eric Spoelstra and Bam Adebayo almost reflect each other, right? It's like we all know who the best coach in the league is, yet Eric Spoelstra's never won Coach of the Year. And we all know who the best defender in the league is, yet this man not only doesn't have any hardware for it, he's never been on a first-team defense. He has he never is on these NBA ladders. They never have him first. And I guarantee your ass, trust me when I tell you the NBA nerds are going to start talking about Rudy Gobert getting it again, even though everybody's been rats off a ship on him. But because Minnesota gets a couple of cute wins, they'll start talking about him as Defensive Player of the Year again. That'll be the new thing it'll be the hip thing. You heard it here first. You don't, but Rudy Gobert, is he, I mean, just in all honesty, is Rudy Gobert standing in front of Jaren Jackson Jr., their best big man, and swatting his out of the stands and getting big-time blocks? And then is he standing in front of Desmond Bane, who's one of the leading scorers in the league right now, and swatting him away? Not only staying in front of him, but then like getting the team the ball back after a block. Like, who's doing that? You tell me. You tell me who's doing that. Maybe Draymond. We always got to give the nod to the to Draymond Green, of course, but it's just crazy to me. You hope all those nerds who vote for these awards were watching this matchup tonight. They probably weren't, because Memphis stinks. And they're not, they are by record the worst team in the league. But Miami did what they had to do. They talked about after that Nets loss, they wanted to dig themselves out of this hole, and they did that. They answered back from getting to a season low of where they were after that Nets loss. They've won 3 straight now. They go into Saturday night against the Atlanta Hawks with a huge matchup against a division rival and a team that's been playing pretty well tonight. I did not see. Let's see what the scoreboard was for Atlanta tonight. Were they in action? Everybody was in action. Were they I think only 2 teams weren't in action, and they happened to be one of them. They were not. They did not play. They are in action tomorrow against the Orlando Magic. But for Miami, they continue. They got to be on this big time road trip with now the concern of Tyler Herro, and it looked gnarly. Let me see if I can see right now. I'm recording this about 11 o'clock. Let me see if I can see any quotes from Spo on Herro. Forget anything here. It's from Anthony Chang. He says, Eric Spoelstra and Tyler Herro, it's a sprained ankle. That's what we know right now. X-ray came back clean. He will go undergo an MRI on Thursday. So we will find out more on Tyler. It looked bad, though. It didn't look like a minor one. And it's unfortunate for Tyler because he was off to an awesome start. Injuries have definitely been part of his story. But this one was this one was a fluke, dude. It was not his fault. And hell, neither was the last one. The last one was a fluke injury too. So this has just been some freak bad luck for Tyler Herro, and really unfortunate. So you hope it is a quick recovery for Boy Wonder. But nice win tonight. Great performance by the captain, Bam Adebayo. He, I think, wanted to make a statement tonight, and he did against some certain players. And Miami Heat even up their record at 4-4 with this win over Memphis, where they come home with the final score of 108-102.